tasty.
We made a Jameson and Coke. That is sponsored by.
Sponsored by Coke.
Sponsored by No, fuck Coke. Sponsored by Jameson though.
Hey, Jameson sponsored me.
Shout out Dublin, Ireland.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
I had a few customers told me I have an Irish accent for some reason at my job, and I was like,
Ordeal.
probably because I drink too much Jameson. They tipped me, so it worked.
I don't know. I would say the Irish are the Russians of the UK.
Yeah, I mean, Scottish and Irish, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, but
I really wouldn't know anybody. You don't.
well, I'm gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Sponsored by the Bangin' Shots of July 4th.
Happy 4th.
Happy Independence Day.
Welcome back to Artisan Debt Podcast, everybody. We're in the studio with Adam Garrison, actual former roommate of mine, actually, fellow artist.
Yeah.
Specifically in the whenever I first saw him, mostly like tag, graffiti. What would you call that? Because graffiti is a slang term to some people.
It's a bit of writing and a bit of artistic ability. It just kind of stems from kind of one form of art, which is writing on things, and a lot of people would consider that graffiti, but yeah, it grows into a much broader thing, and it becomes an art thing that you end up pursuing.
Yeah, and it's rad. So, because when I first saw you, you were doing all of like the spray art and tag art and like things like that. But you also had he's got a really you've had a couple pieces over on 23rd and Strand Street. If you come out to
Right.
if you come out to Galveston, everybody, it was really cool. Justin Lopez is also a guest of the show.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Episode something. Look up Justin Lopez. You guys will find it.
Yeah, man. Justin, I went after, Justin and Gabriel are really great artists. I vibe with a lot of artists, and they're super rad, and I look up into a lot of people and get a lot of inspiration, whether it's local or whether it's somebody who's, a broad, huge fucking artist that's been all around. But, yeah, I've done a couple of murals around. Super fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really cool. I've always appreciated just kind of like spray art like that, just because of the freehand aspect of it.
Totally.
And how you just throw it out there, because that's something I definitely try to do with my art, and I do with my art a lot, especially with the shoes.
Right.
It's just kind of I could mess up, but like I think the biggest thing to do in those kind of areas is learn how to turn your mess up. Happy accidents is what Bob Ross would call it.
Yeah, dude, you can always fix that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can just wait for it to dry, and that's all it is, man. Once it dries, you can do whatever you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I use a lot of spray paint. I definitely spray a lot, but I also use a lot of acrylics.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can't achieve with a spray can, I definitely use acrylics, and I definitely use paintbrushes. And, I find a way to make my image and what I want to paint and what I want it to look like. I make that happen, whether it's a paint can or whether I do it with acrylics and a brush.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And mix of mediums is also a really cool thing to do that not a lot of people think about doing. I mean, it's definitely catching on a lot more, but just a lot of the multi-medium art's really sick.
For sure.
And also for everybody listening back with us for the first time in a long time, Artyom, the ASMR guru.
What's up, Archie? How you doing, man?
There he is.
What's up, Artyom? Yeah.
It's also
good to see you again, brother.
Double X roommate of Adam Garrison.
Yeah, we've gone back for quite some time, man. Good friend.
All the good old
I
Jimmy
miss you
Jones.
guys. Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, back again also Stephanie Bass.
How you doing, Stephanie? She's over here. Stoked.
And then with his first time with Adam, Reagan. What's your last name?
Reagan.
Iron Reagan.
Well, technically it's Lahan, but, she goes
You don't have
by
to say
Nobleak,
if you don't want. Whatever.
Nobleak is...
Last 4 digits of Social Security.
I got to meet.
Username, passwords.
To meet her parents, and they're super rad people. Nobleak. And super rad people.
Okay.
She has her birth father's last name, but, who's really been there for her and everything is...
Cool. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone.
Are you
Well,
pumped?
Adam, I don't think I ever asked you. So how did you get started, just with your art form in general?
With my art form in general, man,
Like how you started your journey as an artist, I guess would be a better way.
journey as an artist. I started out as a surfer, started doing my thing. Gabriel was a huge influence of mine. I met him through my brother, and all throughout high school, I noticed a lot of artwork going on, and he was the main person doing all that artwork, and he was doing it in a way where I wanted to learn how to do that. I wanted to learn how to do it in the way he did it, and watching him do it live was something so special. Like I would never see myself doing what he does, and it seemed so hard. But as time went on, I kept drawing and everything, kept sketching. That's what he told me to do, and so I always looked at his sketchbooks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, and it all stems from drawing a lot. So I started drawing a lot, and then you build it all up, and you start using a spray can. You kind of get used to different kind of caps that you put on a spray can, different kinds of paint that is supplied through a lot of different companies with that type of paint, and yeah, super rad, man. He was my main influence to grow up painting, and I remember I have a picture of him and I when I was super young, and somebody took it in a abandoned building that we were painting in, and I had my hand out like this, and he was giving me a couple of caps that I needed for my piece, and he was currently working on a piece, and it was just super rad. It brought me back in time to think about like where I started from and who was my main inspiration to start doing what I did. And honestly, Gabriel Prismack was the person that really put me on to, doing what I really wanted to do. And then, from him, it grew on to everybody else who does this. Being that young, I really didn't know that there was a lot of people that did what he did until I realized, like, oh, wow, social media, like, there's people doing this on Facebook and YouTube. Like, I see videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, there's so many other people that I can learn from and so many other people that I can gain inspiration from. So that's how I started.
Ignited that spark for
totally.
you.
He ignited my artistic spark, as a surfer, you already have like a way of, when you stand up on a wave, it can be similar to art. It's a blank canvas. You can do whatever you want. You can thrash or you can make it look very stylish. So, taking that kind of, artistic form from my surfing into where I wanted to visualize it on a piece of paper. In high school, I was always drawing, with my courses and stuff. So, I was always drawing, and I just wanted to keep drawing and making things better, and it evolved into spray paint and all sorts of other mediums.
That's awesome. And for those that don't know Gabriel, especially if you're not from the Galveston area, he's got art everywhere. Like
He
literally,
does.
I mean now
He does.
And now I've officially, I think he hit, like not the plateau, but like the biggest thing is like now he is the entrance to Galveston off the causeway.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you get to the Galveston side of the big bridge from the mainland to here, he had like turtles and flamingos.
Right.
His usuals. Like you see a lot of his turtles and flamingos
Right.
everywhere. He can probably whip those out like nothing.
Very talented guy, man. I mean, from all spectrums of art. Totally.
That's awesome. But now, man, I wanted to talk about your. I'm gonna say this early. Where can they find you on Instagram, real quick?
On Instagram, you can find me at OG. What is it?
OG Sun.
It's at OG Sun. So
it's like underscore
OGSON_. Because a
Okay.
lot of people call me G Sun from my last name, Garrison.
Oh,
People would call me,
okay.
Hey, what's up, G Sun? So then I was like, okay, OG Sun, like
Garrison.
And only
that's Garrison. Or
okay, and
whatever.
only now I understood what the hell
Totally.
OG Sun means.
Nobody
'Cause I
ever
was like,
really understands what my tag is.
I remember your
yeah.
phases used to be like used to be your tag.
Yeah, every little tag that I've had, whether it's social media or whatever I'm doing, it has relevance, whether it
Also,
seems confusing or not. It
Most
does.
recently, he has a website portfolio.
Oh.
It's AdamGarrisonArt.com.
Totally.
If you go to that,
AdamGarrisonArt.com. Okay.
I do have a
It's a
little. Yeah.
portfolio, of
Yeah.
his most recent works.
Yeah. We'll definitely make sure we
Yeah.
drop that in the description for
You
everybody.
can definitely check that out.
AdamGarrison.com.
You know, I owe it all to Reagan
Mm.
for making that for me. I appreciate that, honey.
That's
That's
awesome.
rad.
It's in the
Um,
works, but it's still
For sure. And that's
portfolio.
like way more understandable than what my social media tag would be. You know, like not a lot of people can find me unless I tell them like, oh, this is what my tag is, and then you can
Yeah.
go to that tag and then you'll see like, oh, Adam Garrison.
Well,
You know, so-
something relevant that you can keep for a long time and keep it going. I mean, like my Instagram. I mean, like I made my Instagram in like 2011. Jeez. So, 8 years.
Yeah.
And actually, if you scroll to the bottom of it, you can see like little ass Devlin in high school doing stupid shit.
But yours is still
Yeah,
like,
but,
yeah, it's proper, it's rad, it still
but,
works.
But I've had D. Mahaney art since 2011.
Yeah.
That's
You're
all.
still
That's all,
super
always
relevant.
been my handle. It's always will be.
Totally
honestly.
works, yeah.
And I mean, and the best thing about it that made me want to do it the most was nobody could understand it in high school. They were like, "What does that say?" And I'm just like, D. Mahaney art, and they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Dude, my last name." Like
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
for some of my friends that knew me at the time. But I was like,
It's almost better like that, man.
but
you
it's cool. I mean, what I'm trying to get at is it's cool, kind of like yours, that it's kind of mysterious. Like you don't like it's some big random letter that doesn't automatically register in people's minds when they
Totally.
read it. So
Yeah.
they're like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Yeah, well, when people see me in person, they're like, Ogson, and I'm like, what do you, Ogson?
You from
I'm like,
Norway?
what is
Oh
that?
my god,
You know what I
this is
mean? But-
Norwegian.
But and then they I was like, what's up with that? And then I tell them like kind of like what it really is.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I'd get that all the time.
You
too,
know, a
like
lot of
D.
people have
Mahoney.
that as their handle on social medias. They usually don't ever put their real name. They usually put their their
Mhm.
little nickname or something like that.
Yeah. So he started. Oh, the reason I was bringing up Adam's Instagram was everybody should go look at this while they're listening to this episode.
Yeah,
but
check it.
he started doing these big so whenever he's still living here at the house where we're recording,
Mhm.
you started doing the little birds. I remember
Right.
you were just drawing these little cute little birds, and you had little doodles everywhere.
Yeah, they're
these
cute
little birds.
ones.
But then
Yeah.
it started progressing. You started putting a little more into them.
Uh-huh.
I got some of your art up here too. I don't know.
I appreciate that. You have
Uh,
my original print, man.
Yeah, one of the old prints.
Thank you
It's
for
in my
your
room.
support, man. Representing. Thank
Yeah,
you. I appreciate you
man,
guys.
it
That's
actually
rad.
has not moved since you gave it to me.
Yeah,
It's been in
I'm
the same
super
spot.
stoked that you have that. That's super. Not a lot of people have that at all.
Oh,
I
cool.
only made like maybe 5 of those.
Well, then I'm gonna frame
So-
it and stop putting
I
holes
do
in it.
have-
I'm super stoked. Yeah, that's rad.
Well,
But
the
these,
post-it.
hmm
What was it? The UPS cards?
Yeah.
You did the stickers on?
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple in.
Oh
too,
yeah, the post office cards. Oh,
Yeah.
shout out U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah.
I steal the hell out of your packaging stickers.
Samesies.
I will
I'd
be
drawn 'em.
honest.
There's one over there that says "Happy Birthday, Devlin" on it.
Oh yeah, yep.
See
Birthday
that one?
tag
with
right
a
there.
little original bird on it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but I was noticing these birds, man. You kept taking it higher and higher. Then you started doing them like real clean.
Yeah.
Just instead of sketch form, because the first time I saw it, you're doing like the bird skulls, and
Right.
then you went to like the cute cartoon birds.
Right.
But then you started doing them like real clean and real bold colors.
Right.
And then because then you had the stickers, but the first time I really saw them in like their form that you do them now is when we did that 12 by 12 show for Alchemy Gallery.
Mhm.
R.I.P.
Totally.
Alchemy Gallery. Shout out Regina. Regina's fantastic, wonderful
yeah,
human
she's
being.
rad, man. I appreciate you having me there. That's
Yeah,
rad.
yeah, but we did that 12 by 12 show together,
Right.
and but you did the birdies and the 12 by 12,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was like, whoa, because you only use like 3 colors on the whole thing, and I was
Right.
like, this is vibrant, pops off like,
Right.
in my face, like you can't not look at it,
Right, right.
and it's cute, so it's attractive to everyone, it's family friendly,
Yeah.
in the sense of like people will be drawn to
There's
it.
just a visual aspect.
Yeah,
to
and
it.
you had one like hot color and one cold color.
Totally.
And like they just looked really good together. Killed that.
I appreciate that,
Yeah,
man. That
but-
means a lot. Yeah.
And I thought, I was like, okay, cool. He's doing the small birds and the stickers, but man, you started cutting out those big bird heads and started
Yeah.
doing the big ones, like
Yeah,
2
so,
feet, 3
yeah.
feet, 4 feet.
Man, it all evolved, man. Where
That's cool. So what? I know we talked about this the other day, but for everybody listening, so what kind of got you started doing those bird heads?
started doing those bird heads.
Like
man.
the big ones.
Well, the big ones. It all stemmed, from the loss of my father. Like losing my dad. And then I had a lot of birds around me. That was rad. I
Oh, yeah.
admired birds. It was cool. So did my mom. And then I started doing them here. It was cool, I started them out, drawing really, cute little ones. And, from a bubble lettered graffiti standpoint, I always put characters into my lettering. And so, like, a bird kind of fit into that. And it was rad. So then I just started doing a freestanding little bird. And, it evolved into doing wooden cutouts. And that was cool. I started working a lot with wood. And I did the first one. It was a lot larger than I expected it to be. It was way bigger than I wanted it to be, but it was
kind of
really
jumped
cool.
in the pool with that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I randomly just got a huge piece of wood. Didn't know if it was going to work out or not. And, I asked my mom, like, for a birthday present. I was like, oh, well, I need a saw. So she got me a jigsaw, and that's the saw that I wanted. And I told her I wanted to do art with it. And intentionally, I wasn't going to intend on doing, like, the bird art stuff. I was originally going to do a lot of other different styles of art with it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I ended up drawing a big bird on a piece of wood, and I cut it out, and then I painted it, and it was fucking huge. And it was cool. I painted it, and it was very clean and crispy looking. And, I mean, it's not the best that I can do, but for the first one I've ever done, it was really cool.
Well, you realize you got something.
Yeah, totally. From there, it sparked something. I was like, wow, this is really cool. I'm gonna do a lot more.
Yeah.
And I sized them down a bit, because that one, being my first one, was a bit large. And I started doing ones that were. Now I have them in a category to where if anybody wants anyone, I have a small one, I have a medium sized one, a large scale, and I have an extra large scale. So the extra large scale was actually like the first one I've done. I would range that in the extra large category, and so it's super fun.
Well, that's really cool though that you, because you said you wanted to get into it and start practicing with it, and you're interested in it. But and this is something people listening, if you want to get into something, like you did something you were already doing, like you knew.
Totally.
So if you're gonna try something new, especially with an art medium or something, just draw something you're already pretty good at, because the biggest thing that hinders a lot of artists is they try a new medium or something for the first time,
Right.
and they just totally screw it up or something.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Exactly, but but it's real discouraging, and we don't, especially as artists, we're very self-critical. So us messing up is like, it feels like the end of the world for a couple.
Man,
seconds.
I feel gutted.
Yeah.
Whenever I mess up, man, I feel gutted, and. I mean, as an artist, everybody's gonna feel that. Everybody's gonna get that at some point in their time, as an artist. So
you just gotta keep going.
Well, really, you gotta keep going. You gotta mess with things. You gotta try other mediums. You gotta try things that you come up with as an artist and your ideas. And you never know what's gonna happen, man. And if things work out for you, and you want to keep pursuing this certain kind of medium or whatever you want to do, it can work out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You just gotta keep going at it. I mean,
totally.
I mean, really, especially because nowadays in today's culture, people are really hooked on instant gratification, and they don't want to wait, and they don't want to work for anything.
It takes patience.
Yeah,
man.
it takes patience, and you got to build it up, and you got to grow. I mean, like, just because some random dude 5 states away you don't know became a millionaire overnight does not mean you can do it. No matter
come like
no
that,
matter
man.
how badass his Instagram page looks, does not mean you can do that.
Man,
but
as
the
an
thing
artist,
is,
dude,
you
it
gotta-
takes
you gotta-
patience.
Yeah,
man.
you got to grow.
You have to grow, man. And I look back on things that I've done, and at the time of me creating that art, of course I really appreciated that, and it's super cool. Like, I'm like thinking that's like the best thing ever, and that's cool. But looking back on that, I'm like, oh wow, like I've come such a long way. And as an artist, I feel like everybody should look back on what they're doing, and check that out and be like, wow, I really have evolved.
Yeah.
And over time you will as an artist, but you have to have patience. You have to have a lot of patience in art to,
especially with yourself as an artist. I think because and honestly, all these artists that really, even if they are pretty good, if they don't have very much experience, they might jump into a pool they're not prepared for, or they might take on a job they're not prepared for. And just a couple things like that. So I think it's great to grow and kind of take your time and learn. Take the time to learn, and then, like, if you learn and you know your shit, then big things will just come to you.
you have to start from the bottom.
Yeah,
That's the main thing.
And you gotta,
Totally.
and check everything out. I mean, I finally announced. I told Steph a while back, but I'm starting to write a book. Well, based on, so like I've played, like, I'll be honest, like, shout out everybody that plays WoW, but I've played like World of Warcraft for 10 years. But the thing is as an adult, I've started to notice just from studying other perspectives and different things that actually I kind of think like a video game, in the sense of like whenever I start like a new hobby or a new project or something, I think of it as like a low level character and how I have to build it up
Right.
and learn everything about
No,
it.
yo, that's relevant.
And one of my
dude.
biggest things in the game, and I actually brought this into real world, is like I don't leave a zone until I look at everything.
Holy shit!
So-
I can see how that can cohere with.
Yeah, so my thing is like there'll be, especially with other games we played, I was playing Xbox and we played games like Fable and other role playing games, my friends would be like, man, I'm already at this spot, why are you still back here? Because I was like, bro, because I'm going and checking this corner, I'm going around here,
Right.
I'm looking under this rock, I'm doing this, I'm killing this thing even though it doesn't need to be killed, like I'm doing
You're
everything.
touching everything out. I can
Because-
totally see how that can
Because I
coincide with the
want to
creative
learn
aspect of-
everything about this floor
Right.
before I walk up the stairs.
That's
you know
super
what I mean?
rad.
And
Yeah.
then do the same thing and then repeat that process because I know I'm doing everything I can at every stage.
And what's rad, man, I never thought about it like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really play a whole lot of video games, but yeah, I never thought that, that can definitely cohere with the side of art, and that's definitely like that's rad. Like,
and that actually came from people kind of messing with me about games because they were just like, oh, you're wasting your time, wasting life, blah blah blah.
nah,
Easy arguments for games, but I was like, okay, some people do that. I'll be honest. Some people actually, there's so much you can learn from games, but some people actually do waste a lot of time doing that shit.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not trying to do anything with it. But I was thinking, that, like I think the first time I got hit with that, I was like 18 when I first pondered this, but I was like, what have I actually learned from this game?
right,
Like what are some things that I've actually brought, and I sat and I've been thinking about it still to this day.
right.
But like that game's got its own like economy system and like all
That's
kinds of
super
crazy
rad,
shit.
man.
But it taught me
yeah.
a lot. It taught me how to sell things.
There's
how
totally
to
a
price
lot of things where you can learn from.
Yeah,
from a lot of
taught
games.
Me, taught me a lot of shit.
Not only that, but movies as well.
Oh yeah, depending on which movie it is, but I mean, like really anything. I think people should just like that. That's a real gap nowadays because a lot of people, especially like on Facebook, is a great example. I catch people in this shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So people will read a tagline of a Facebook something, and they'll read it and they like what the tagline says, so they'll share it. But they didn't actually click on the article. They didn't go read it, and they'll just share shit because they like what it says.
Right.
But they don't look
Right.
where it came
You
from
should
or who
definitely
wrote it
see
or
that
what's in
source.
there. And
Totally,
so
right.
one thing I've actually been doing is like if I'm on Facebook, like I'll see people share something, but it sounds weird, and I'm like, all right, let me click on this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like
Check that
a friend
source,
of mine,
man.
a friend of mine from Austin, old coworker of mine from Shake Shack. Shout out Shake Shack. I guess y'all have enough money, but you should give me some for shouting out.
What's good, Shake Shack?
Well, she posted this thing about cops wearing or dressing up, or state troopers dressing up as construction workers to catch people for tickets.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And she was
Okay.
like, oh, these guys are assholes, and I click on it, and I'm like, in Illinois, not in Texas, because everybody's like, oh, because the comments on her post were talking about Texas troopers,
Man,
and I was like, this is in Illinois.
And
And they're like, well, why does it matter? It still sucks. But I was
Right.
like, yeah, but like you were just complaining in the comments how
Man.
it's Texas.
And Devlin, dude, whenever I see these posts, man, I really don't even pay attention to them anymore because I know it's just a whole lot of bullshit. Usually, I
Yeah.
mean, like 80%
Like
of the time,
check it
it's
out.
gonna
Like
be
like if
fucking
it sounds too
bullshit.
good to be true, especially check it out.
Totally. Like I'll click on it and be like, oh, in Illinois, yeah, or you know what I'm saying. There's always gonna be something, and you got those type of people, that certain category of people that want to post, fucking
Everyone
Weird shit
like
like
to
that,
be
yeah.
outraged, but you need to read about shit.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Man.
Well,
people
yeah.
post shit it's irrelevant, but they think it's relevant within your community or within your state,
Or they just want to start some shit or say something. Like we were talking about this on the last episode. Everybody go check it out. Episode 30. Mohammed Kairisman.
It's a sick one.
We talked about when people like how negative energy is easily more attractive than positive energy. I
Mhm.
mean, whether if it's a good attraction or not, it's gonna get noticed first before
It's a
something
wild
good.
thing, man.
Everyone loves
That's a
bad
really
girls.
wild thing.
About bad things. Like people are just like, oh, because the thing is like since there's everybody wants to be good.
It's a natural
Bad
reaction.
things are just naturally attractive. Just at least thoughts, because you're like, oh, but then you have to put in your head like, oh, wait, from what you've been through, like, all right, no,
Right.
this is bad.
Right.
But that kind of stuff, especially on the internet, because people can just look at it whenever they want. Like it's quicker.
Yeah, people want bad vibes, man.
But
Some people
that's
want
the
good
thing.
vibes, and the whole bad scene, and
Yeah.
whether it's like a very, you know, horrible thing that happened or something like that, people are really attracted to it. Yeah, it sucks. You know, there's a lot of that going on in the world, man, and it's a real bummer, whether it's true or not. Whether, you know, whenever you say something like that pop up, it sucks. You know, especially if it's true. You know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
always looking on the positive side.
yeah, yeah,
you
for
know?
sure. And
For sure.
and the thing we talked about on that episode, man, we were talking mostly about turning that negative energy into positive energy and creating something with it. Turning that anger and frustration, or I don't know, there's the big thing I see with social media, or people
Use
think
those vibes,
when people go on there and go out of their way to like put people down, it's just I don't know, it makes me see them as kind of shitty.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. And sometimes it can happen,
especially with
man.
artists, man. Like people are really hard on people's drawings and people's paintings and stuff.
I've felt that a lot, man, and I feel like I feel, you know, and it sucks because I feel shitty because I feel like I've dealt that before. But, you know, I've had a lot of people criticize me, you know, and sometimes in the art realm, and especially like visual art and music, I feel like it does take a certain amount of criticism, and it helps to have other artists like that. Sometimes you may look up to them, or it may be somebody who's way more talented than you are, and somebody that you might look up to that is very fucking awesome, and like, well, getting criticized by those kind of people, man, it guts you. Yeah, you definitely feel very, very sad, and it fucking sucks. Yeah, but you know, it'll make you a way better artist, and in the long run, it can make you a great artist if you can kind of take that criticism and like. Yeah, you're going to get sad, you're going to get mad, but those emotions, man, when you turn that around, dude, it can make you into something unbelievable. It can make you into a beast, you know? It can make you phenomenal.
Exactly.
And whatever you're drawing, whether it's fucking hearts and skulls and shit, just like this print that I have on your wall, you know, you can take that and you can make that something, or you can make whatever you really want to make it, you can fucking make it happen. You know, and a lot of stuff stems, especially from me, man, it stems from sorrow. It stems from depression. I've had a lot of wild shit going on in my life, you know, and as an artist, it helps to, you know, let out my emotions. And a lot of the stuff I'm used to drawing, it stemmed from sorrow. It stemmed from hate, a lot of hate that I've gotten. And, you know, eventually I want to turn that around and make it happy.
I mean, you've already done it, man. I mean, like you've already been doing it.
Man. It took a long time, man.
No, it did, but man, like one of the things and why I'm glad we're doing this episode, man, something that was really inspiring, honestly, just from the person you were when you moved in here, and then the person you are now, man. Like you have completely changed positively.
I appreciate that, man. And that means a lot to me.
It's super cool. It's really cool.
That
actually,
means a lot
because
to me,
you know,
man.
like sometimes when we were here living together, you're a great artist, but you're kind of hard on yourself about your art. And and like we had multiple talks sitting out there, you know, talking about art, or sometimes I'd be up in my room and you come in and we'd talk about stuff.
Right.
But man, just the positive energy and outlook you got. I mean, you and Reagan are super happy. I mean, you guys got your bunnies. Follow man, Ava the bunny, or
totally.
what was
Avi. Yeah.
Avi.
It's on Instagram. It's at Avi the carrot eater.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Yeah, but you guys, man, super happy you're going out and doing stuff. Y'all are surfing together. You guys, it's like stuff me and Stephanie do. I mean, you know, like we go out, we do art together, we go skate together.
Enjoy it, man.
But we just hang out.
It.
But you guys, you're out there killing it, man. You're creating content like crazy. I mean,
I appreciate that.
And as an artist, you know how the stress is, where it's just like, yeah, I'm trying to throw a show, but I keep selling stuff. To us, that's stressful, but to other people, they're like, shit, like. But that's actually really cool because, you know, you can use that to your advantage and it creates scarcity for your art, and that's good because that makes people want it more.
Exactly.
So
yeah, it's definitely helped a lot.
An outsider's perspective, somebody that doesn't, like, I'm not an artist or anything, but you have surpassed every goal that you've ever needed to. Like, your art is only ever gaining momentum. It's really interesting
I
to see.
appreciate that.
That was good.
It's really beautiful.
For sure.
It's
Like
really,
just like he said, you've known me since I've moved in here.
Yeah.
And Artie's known me even before that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you said, the man that I was when I moved in here, and the man that I was when I left, and the artist, not only the man, but
yeah.
you know,
I mean, we live with you
even
at
before,
we live with you
totally,
for a year.
you've known me since
2012.
a while.
And the whole thing, we lived with you before we moved to
I've
this
had-
place. I hang out with you.
Totally.
We lived together.
and
for
we've
a
had
while.
the best of times, and I've had the worst of times fall upon me, and
Yeah, I mean,
Artyom's been there for me through it a lot of things, and vice versa, and he's seen me in a lot of fucked up states, yeah, and same with him, but just like everybody, when time goes on, man, you evolve and you grow from that. You grow from what happens to you in your life, and moving in here, I do a lot of art here, roll out, keep doing art, and people evolve, man. It's rad, and I appreciate hearing that from you, that you recognized the kind of person I was here, and the kind of art that I was doing here, and the kind of person I am now, and the kind of art that I'm doing now, man. It really fulfills me. It really reminds me that I am moving into a positive direction, and I am trying to improve, and I always want to try to improve, man.
Definitely doing it, man.
Super rad.
I mean, like your art is actually accelerating. Like I mean, she was saying with the momentum. I mean, like you're just creating more and more stuff, man. I mean, really, to be honest, that's what I've had, so like back here behind you, I got my whiteboard with art projects, and some of those projects have been on there for years. I mean, dude, that sculpture I got back there,
right?
I started that sculpture in the back room, at my old apartment in Austin on the balcony.
I remember that thing.
Like that thing. Like, I carried that thing with me from Austin to my first place I lived out here in Galveston, just sat in there, and then I brought it here, and it's still not done. But and I've had, like, a couple pairs of shoes I've had to do for a while. But, man, I saw you creating content and just, like, banging stuff out and working and posting little time lapses of you working and shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, damn. And then, like, on your stories, you're just like, man, I'm out here again on 23rd. We're spray painting, doing stuff like for Christmas, for Gay Pride, for where we're painting. And I'm like, damn. I was like, I need to do more.
I appreciate you recognizing that, man, and for an artist, and and another artist to recognize that, and if I can even motivate you in the slightest sense, and same, like, dude, and living under the same roof as another artist, man, like, you always push me, man. You definitely inspired me to create more content, always.
Yeah.
I was just saying about that, like, on 23rd Street, they let you put that mural on, like, right by the Mod coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of
was
people,
it the umbrella?
Yeah, umbrella.
The
a
umbrella
lot of
one
people
blew
kept
up.
taking pictures of you all the time. And also, they pretty much, it seems like they let you paint that, like, the
Colonel
fence,
Bubby's one. Yeah.
fence right on, like, by Starbucks.
Yeah, a while back, I did that one through Clay Cup Studios. That was the umbrella mural, the selfie mural down there on... was that 22nd Post Office by Mod? That one blew up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Shout
out Amy from Clay Cup.
Yeah, appreciate it.
She does a lot for the art community that a lot of people don't know.
Super
here in Galveston.
I know she switched locations.
Her second location. She said she's been doing way better.
That's awesome. It's good to hear for sure.
It's right there on Post Office. That place is on fire during Art Walk.
Epic. Super stoked.
Like packed. And honestly, her getting kicked out of her space and her being able to milk that to her customers, like, hey, I'm getting kicked out. I gotta move.
Know she got kicked out.
Oh, dude. Some people bought like you can't kick out Frost Bank because that's their building.
Right.
But yeah, so like Frost, which some people that own that Frost, they owned that building. Mm-hmm. They sold it to this other company, and that company came in and they're like, well, y'all have 30 days to leave. Bye.
That's completely fucked.
Yeah, and
that's
so
wild.
But
to see her, turn it around and make it into something that's she kept chasing
She's
her
doing
passion,
great.
And that's awesome, and it's relatable. Mm-hmm. It's like, if anything sour happens to me or you or you're always gonna try to switch that coin over and make it to where it's something that's gonna work out in a positive manner.
Yeah, for sure. And man, for those of y'all who don't know, Amy did this project around Galveston. If y'all come out to Galveston, Texas, there's these painted turtles all over the town. Mm-hmm. That was awareness for saving the turtles. Turtles about town. We did one. My dad did one. It's the one over. It's the one over at Seawolf. It's funny. He did they using fiberglass, same fiberglass we use to do art cars. He did. They put like a little hull on the back of it and made the shell look like a submarine. Because it's over at Seawolf. Yeah. But then if you look under the turtle, he's wearing like a tank top, Hanes shirt, and he's got tattoos and like.
How so dope, man.
How many of them are
really
on
cool.
Island?
Like 30.
Yeah,
And
dude, there's a ton.
I saw,
They've
like,
been
2.
popping up. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. The Hey Mikey's one's cool too. There's like ice cream
Yo,
one.
Mikey, shout
yeah.
out, hey Mikey's,
Mikey.
dude. I go by there every art walk, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, yo, Mikey.
Shane
I'm
mac
sure
and
they hate
cheese.
me for that, dude. But it's rad. I love you guys at Hey Mikey's. Great
Ice cream's
cream.
great.
Yeah, it's a super cool place.
Man, well, you know, I'm supposed to get Rob from there on Artisan on the show too, Artisan Depth.
Nice.
Well, because
Cool.
he's a ice cream wizard, man. That guy makes up all these crazy
Dude's the
recipes and
bomb
makes
when
this
it comes
crazy
to that,
stuff.
yeah.
Bacon ice cream? Fuck yeah.
Dude, yeah, dude, the
Bacon.
bacon ice
What?
cream's actually bomb.
Never heard of
It's
it. Yeah.
bomb.
That sounds tasty.
It's
Yeah,
really
I
it's,
went by there one day. They have
it's really
the name of
interesting.
the day, you know. And
Yeah.
I went by there and got mine, and you know I don't really have any dairy, but I went
Also,
by. And
one
I
of
got
the
some,
other-
like, shaved ice. It was really good.
yeah, they do sorbets, man. They had a vegan ice cream in there.
Yeah, they
One
they
time.
made it happen for me, man. I appreciated that.
They watch out for the community.
Yeah.
Also, one of the other arts that Adam does, it's still in my phone, is Adam JJ Lowe. He loves the slammed cars and slam nation, stance nation.
Stance Nation, slam cars and stuff. That's a whole nother art of itself, though. That's I mean, you can look at my scooter and you might get a little taste of that.
And also that
Yeah.
you all
That's
Shout out Ruckus Scooters.
Could be Honda Ruckus. Yeah, that could be a taste of what my background would be with automobiles, but yeah, that never really.
well,
was
it's way more
successful
expensive.
for me.
It's freaking expensive to
It's
do.
too
though.
expensive, and it's a cool little fan clubby art formy way of modding your vehicle, but it's not very smart in the financial realm of automobiles.
But it's a community in Galveston.
It's a really cool little small community, but and Houston is very familiar with that community.
I mean,
but
you got accepted to like Stance Nations or Stance Wars or
Stance
something like that.
Nation, Slammed Enough, and all of that. But it was super rad. But by that time, I didn't really own my vehicle anymore. You know, while having it here, I sold that, and you know like how many wheels I've had and how I've modded that vehicle over time. But yeah, I've had my scooter accepted to a whole lot of shows, and I wasn't really able to get it up there and trailer it up there. But yeah, it's a whole another build in itself, and just like projects with art, or whether it be a vehicle or tattoos on your body or whatever it may be.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, we didn't even bring that up, man. So he does these great
Super
tattoos, man. Dude,
What?
no,
Stuck?
no, they're super
Sick.
cool because
Stick and poke.
Yeah,
like
thank
stick and
you.
pokes, man.
Yeah.
They've come a long way, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
And you got some good gear and stuff, man. Makes me want to get one, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I remember us talking about that a while back. Yeah, you wanted something, and we can still make that happen.
Yeah, man. I want my dog, man, on my ankle.
I can definitely make that happen.
My dog Z, R.I.P.
If you want that
Well,
name,
yeah.
man, and you want something going on, yeah.
Yeah, man. It was gonna be it was real chill because she had this. I actually got her collar right here. It's right there.
Oh, right on.
She
Right
wore
on.
that thing for like 15 years straight, bro. Like that dog. I mean, she lived inside a lot, so she didn't have many baths. She wasn't really. Like, she was a puppy because she was super outside. But once she slowed down, she was really inside. So she just
Yeah.
wore that thing forever.
Man, that's awesome that
yeah,
you still have that, man.
Yeah, but she had like a
That's-
little heart pendant, so I was gonna get like a little heart on my ankle with a Z in the middle. Just
Dude.
real chill.
Man, let
maybe
me
some
hook you
shading.
up, man.
Yeah.
Let me hook you up, man. If
also-
anybody wants to look at any of my art, man, it's at on the Instagram
Mm-hmm.
handle. It's at Blackstabber. That's it. I think it's at Blackstabber Tattoo.
Cool.
And yeah, I do a lot of hand poke tattoos. I've done a lot of them on myself. I've done a lot on my friends and stuff like that. And and as an artist, I was trying to do a lot of tattoos growing up. I tried to learn and get into a lot of shops and try to get an apprenticeship, but nobody really wanted to give me an apprenticeship. I kept trying. Maybe I just didn't have a proper portfolio put together, but I learned a lot from my buddy James Flores, and he, got me put me on that whole realm because I really wanted to learn. I
Yeah.
really wanted to learn that art on my skin.
Yeah.
And he sold me a lot of my equipment, and I chased that, and I did that, and I kept pursuing it, and I kept doing it, and I did a lot of, I've done a lot of machine done tattoos on myself and my friends, and one day I got hand poked by my friend. We're drunk, and he poked me with a sewing needle, and it was super rad, and I thought that was cool, and I kept pursuing, just poking. And
Yeah.
now I'm using proper needles and proper sterilization, and I have a tool and everything, and I have a good setup, and like going from machine to hand poking, it's super cool. Like I can I know exactly what to do.
It's really cool. Whether people like it or not, it's actually a more traditional style of tattoo.
It's very unique,
and like with smaller scale, but like it's a. I mean, I think it's really cool because it's. I mean, of course, machine tattoo is cool. It's where the money's at, whatever.
Right.
But the stick and pokes is cool because it's more of like a personal experience from the artist.
Exactly.
Because my thing with my tattoos, the only reason I have two.
Right.
Is because I'm real big on like these are originals. Like you can't find pictures of these anywhere.
Exactly.
Except on me.
Right.
So
right.
And that's my big thing. I want something from the artist raw.
And that's what I usually specialize in, man. I mean, I'm drawing it straight on you, and I'm like using my hand and a tool, and I'm poking it straight into you, and it's rad, man. It feels better, and it doesn't traumatize the skin as much as a machine would.
Yeah. Well, you're getting poked like thousands of times.
Totally, but it heals a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And depending on the needle size, man, I can do significantly like large pieces.
You get like straight, and you get pretty straight lines too. They're not too spotty.
I've done a few pieces that are like pretty reasonable size, but yeah, I aim to make my lines pretty clean. It depends on what the design is, but yeah, tattooing has been a whole different realm other than like what I mainly focus on with my wood cutouts and whatnot. And my original kind of cartoony looking art I do with my birds.
Well, and that's really cool, man. Just back to what we began the podcast on, which is multi-mediums.
Mm-hmm.
I think all artists should dabble in a couple different things.
For sure. Do whatever.
And then everyone in general should just like not necessarily master a bunch of things, but just try a bunch of things and read about and just because a lot of people think that learning certain skills or certain things all remains within that realm, but if you go try different stuff, you'll learn stuff somewhere else, not even something related that you can bring
niche,
to everything.
You might find your niche.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're always digging that.
Totally.
Oh man, and so I guess we'll lead into this. There's something, and plus. Well, I know a lot of people say everybody gives the same answer, but I like asking everybody anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That if you've heard from my podcast, I ask everybody at the end of the podcast just something they would say, kind of like a general word of encouragement to people that are maybe trying art or maybe they failed some things. Just something just from your own experience that might help them keep going, if you have any insight.
Well, for me, man, take your emotions and make it into something. That's always been. I mean, I know it sounds really simple, but
but it is
honestly,
it is that simple, man.
It is that simple, and that's what I've done. Whether I was sad, happy, or mad, I come home and I draw or I paint, and it can be that simple, and it evolves into something that can be beyond what you ever thought it ever would have been.
Mm-hmm.
It can create a lot of happiness for you in your life, and you never know what's going to happen. You keep doing things, and it can evolve into something that, like you would have never guessed. So, yeah, I would just say keep doing what you're doing, whether it's music, keep your mind open to all certain realms of music. Tattooing, do what you do. And I know you're going to have haters. You're going to have people that say you can't do it. You're going to have people that doubt you. Mm-hmm. But always do it, man. If you really want to learn something and you really want to do something, you have to fucking practice it. You have to strive to be, the best that you can be. And you only learn something by actually doing it.
Yeah.
So continue drawing, continue planning your music, continue on to the next day of your life in every realm of life, every aspect of life, man. Just keep going. That's it.
Hell yeah, man. Well, Adam, I'm glad we finally got to do this, man.
Totally, man.
It's
Same
been
here.
Cool.
It's been rad, man. I appreciate you having me. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Once again, everybody, find him at OGSun _ Instagram. What was your stick and poke tag again?
Stick and poke tab is the handle is Black Stabber Tattoo.
Black Stabber Tattoo. Find Artyom, the ASMR guru and metal concert extraordinaire.
Yes.
At Unglory Hunter.
At Unglory, Glory Hunter.
We need to go see Noctiluce.
Find Adam at Adam Garrison Art.
AdamGarrisonArt.com. Check out his online art
website.
portfolio.
I appreciate that. I owe a lot of my, arts and success and art endeavors to Reagan, by the way.
Hey, man,
so she's helped me. I meant to mention this in this episode is that, she's helped me in all aspects of life, and I really appreciate that, Reagan. So thank you very much for helping me in all aspects of my life, and my art and everything. So
That's all. You know, I actually think
something?
it's.
Say, yeah, you're welcome. Say something.
So AdamGarrisonArt.com.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. Rod.
Hey, you know, I actually think it's super cute. You guys are both wearing a shirt with a panther on it. Did y'all do that on purpose?
No, actually, I didn't. Wow. Hers is very patriotic.
Yeah,
right
y'all
now.
sitting side by side. I was like, man, y'all both rocking matching Panthers. I was like, man, me and
Oh,
Steph
wow.
need to step our game up. Wear some more matching shirts.
You guys are looking patriotic over there, though.
Oh, we are
Yeah.
doing red, white. Okay, we're very 4th of July right now.
Sick.
That's all good.
I'm naked.
Yeah, Artie's naked. He's actually half naked.
Topless, dude. I'm at a topless titty bar right now.
Actually,
Right on.
yeah, just.
He's a topless ASMR RTO.
Oh yeah, yeah. He can make this cool noise with his nipple if you listen close enough.
Oh, yeah.
They breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe a nipple.
All right, you guys. The Artists of Debt podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, click the little bell, get the notifications whenever we launch new episodes. Follow us at Artists in Depth on most social media platforms. I'll be honest, I really only run the Instagram one, so if you hit me up on Twitter or anything, I probably won't answer. So follow us on Instagram at Artists in Depth. And everyone have a wonderful night.
Peace.
I love y'all.
Happy 4th
Happy 4th
of July.
of July.
Late.
You've been listening to the Artists in Depth podcast, motivating creative minds through artistic exploration. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to give us a rating or a positive review. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can email us at vonpatrickarts@gmail.com. That is VONPATRICK@gmail.com. Thank you very much, and we look forward to talking to you.